When should I make that first sales phone call? That's the title of today's question, and this came in from a sales manager supervising a salesperson, and the sales manager writes this: when should my salesperson start calling for an appointment? After the first two mail pieces? How often should she call? Once a week? Once a day? Do you have a rule of thumb on this? And the answer is yes, we do have a rule of thumb, and we have some great things to share with you today. You know, in sales, we work in imperfect worlds. We can't always try to make everything perfect before we leap or jump or try to do an activity. So the good rule of thumb is to, don't overthink the think, overdo the do. And if this question you're, kind of pending on what you should do, is make the call now without question or regard of time, but make the phone call. But let's talk about a perfect world. In the world that we teach that we do an offering of a small free book that goes out first to our A+ or VIP clients, followed by a profile sheet a few days later. And what we try to do, like 99% of all the sales world, they make these cold calls or they get a lead and they make the phone call and they wonder why they can't get any results. Well, one of the reasons is that you got to warm those people up or make an attempt to warm them up. So what we do is we send what's called the Jim Rohn Positive First Impression book, and you can find that in my blog under Tips, by the way, Tips, T.I.P.S, to Insure Prompt Sales. You can read a whole article on the Jim Rohn book. So the Rohn book goes out first, and there's a special way that we get it set up to send it. And then the second thing is a profile sheet on the salesperson that describes the salesperson, the company, and the product or service. Comes in just a couple days behind that. So when that first call is made to that cold prospect is, and especially if you get a gatekeeper, you can say, I'm calling this person, and the reason for my call is I'm making sure that they got the book I sent them. So it's not a, for sure way to get into that person, but it is a better way than calling up and sounding like a telemarketer and that you have nothing better to do and you're desperate for a sale. And so the only thing that you're doing right now is you don't have anything better to do with your time, so you're calling. Okay, so those items that I just described with you will warm those up and help on a high level basis. Now, in addition to that, my belief is that if you have called a prospect and then you have called and left a message and you have emailed that prospect, and there's been no return communication, you had better do something different, because the first time that you start making multiple phone calls and multiple voicemail messages and that you're sending multiple emails, you become just like all the other salespeople in the world that people, and for the most part, don't want to work with those kind of people. So find a different way to do something different after that first voicemail message and after that email that you send them. And one of the ways is by utilizing our pink slip tactic. Now you can read all about the pink slip at www.chuckbauer.com/pink. So again, regardless of what the situation, when in doubt, make the call. But procedurally, there's some different things that you can do. And whatever you do, set yourself apart from all the other salespeople and do things that are different, that will be distinctive and will attract those cold prospects and warm prospects to you in an effort to get into their head, get their attention, and make them want to do business with you. If you have any further questions, please go to our website at www.chuckbauer.com.